Welcome. We have finally made it. Can I get some virtual confetti in 3, 2, 1? Bow. Episode numero 10. Double digits. We made it.
Feels good.
How does it feel? Doesn't it?
Very good. Very good. It feels amazing.
Yeah.
It feels amazing.
We
made it episode 10. Thank you guys for the views, for the subscribers, for the likes, the shares, the love. We are here and it feels good.
Amazing. Like John said, like it feels super, super good. We're glad to be here. We also hit 100 subscribers, 100 plus subscribers. And we've only working at this for a couple of months as well. So that just goes to show that you guys are obviously vibing with what we're doing. You're loving what we're doing. And it means that we need to keep on working and double down. So obviously, guys, the next milestone is 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. 1 million subs, you know? And we'll get there soon. Very soon.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Keep plugging away.
So I really appreciate what you guys are doing for us and everything that comes along with. So obviously this is going to be a super duper special episode as well. You know, we're going to be talking about a very poignant topic. We're going to be talking about a very special topic today, which I think, you know, sort of is in line with sort of coming into the new year, everyone trying to shape themselves, better themselves as well. But before we get into that, my bro,
before we get into that, actually, I just want to remind those who may be watching this for the first time to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Leave some comments. Like, we are spitting out some game.
Serious
like,
game.
We spoke the other day, a lot of our videos are getting a lot of views on reels and shorts and stuff like that, but we're not really seeing it equate into subscribers, into followers. So if you're not following us on the IG, get following. If you're not following us or subscribing to the YouTube channel, get subscribing, show us some love. Much appreciated.
Definitely.
Done now.
Can't forget that one, so. Well, my bro, how's your week been?
I know for the last 2 weeks I've been like, yeah, I'm great. No, I'm feeling, it's been hard.
Them tough
It's
ones.
been hard.
Talk to me.
I feel like I may have overdone it. You know, like before I'm in the groove, I feel like the body's like, whoa, what have you been doing for the last couple of weeks? Like the early mornings, like the going gym 4 or 5 times a week. I feel like my body has now, like, said, hang on.
Chill out.
Yeah, chill out a little bit. So, yeah, man, I just feeling a bit achy here and there. I've had to go and get a couple massages and
Okay.
loosen up the body and that.
Okay.
And just, I think mentally, obviously, we're coming towards the end of the year. You naturally just start to gear down a little bit. And I think I've definitely started to gear down. I'm ready for 2025. Obviously, we spoke about some big plans in 2025.
Big plans.
But yeah, I feel like I feel a bit tired, if I'm honest.
Do you reckon that's because you, like you said, you've been overdoing yourself lately and you've not been pacing yourself, or is it just like a lot of stuff is just going on right now, personal business and whatnot?
I think a bit of everything. I think naturally, because I am the way I am, I just take on a lot. And I was even saying the other day, I feel like maybe I've taken on a little bit too much. I feel like I'm spreading myself a little bit too thin. Naturally, you know, when you have goals and aspirations and, you know, you want to achieve certain things, you want to do everything, but we know in life that you can't do everything. You have to pace yourself. It's not a sprint.
No, of
ultimately, it's a marathon. So, I probably need to take some of my own advice and just maybe not spread myself too thin. Prioritize. Like we know at any given time, there's going to be 1,000,001 things to do, and we can try and do all those things at once and probably nothing will get done, or we can just learn to prioritize and concentrate on the most important things and then move to the next. So that's where we're at, man. But where are you, man? I know you got some, look at that grin, guys. Look at that grin.
Look at this glow.
How you been, my bro?
I've been flipping amazing, bro. Not to contrast, but I've been good. Just come back from Dubai. And that was haters gonna hate. But that was an experience. That was my first time. Excuse me. That was my first time, and it was an eye opener. Not just so much, obviously. Like, it was a bit of business. I was there to link up with some people. Obviously, enjoyed the weather and what Dubai has to offer. But it was a massive eye opener to me in terms of what that part of the world has to offer, the service, the amenities, the lifestyle, the luxuries, everything.
It's fancy over there.
It's fancy schmancy. You know, sit like, bro, like, go into my hotel room, I just see, why is all my clothes folded? Who's been in there? You know what I mean? Like, who's been in there? Who's been in this place? Like, it's like proper 10 out of 10 service. People treat you like royalty. Everyone is super duper nice. And a lot of the times people a lot of the times, a lot of like-minded people are here, like sort of wanting to flock together. A lot of people are wanting to connect, network, again, going back to previous episode as well, sort of like invite you to the circle, see what you have to bring, leverage resources, connections. Like, it's just amazing. Like, I was this close of extending, hadn't I, not to...
Them ones there. Then you realised you had to get back and film.
I had to film the pod.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, it was super duper good. Like, I highly recommend anyone to go there if they can. Like, it gives you an opportunity to really just network with some really, really good bunch of people and just expand your horizon. And once you sort of get there and you meet the right people, you'll see, okay, cool, I've been sort of thinking a bit little right now. You know, I'm speaking to some people who are in the same field with me, says, okay, cool, I've clocked the millions now, I need to go into tens of millions. Like, that wasn't even my vocab yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? But why not, right? If he's doing it, why can't I do it? Or she's doing it, why can't I do it? 100%. Right? So that just massively motivated me right now. And I know I've been pumped for 2025, but like now I am super ready. I'm charged up.
And I think that's the thing, like when you're around certain people who are making moves, it makes you think, like I said, it can either do one or two things, and it can make you think, get this on, and I wish I had that life. Or it can ultimately inspire you, motivate you, make you think, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it. 100%. And the reality is, if someone else is doing something, guys, you can do it too. Don't think, you know, you're going to see someone and they're living a certain life, or they're maybe at a place where you'd like to be and you think, oh, I can't do that. You can do that.
110%.
It's just about how much do you want it. You know?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So now you know why I like the buy.
Yeah, I see why you're there so much.
I'm going next month. So, but yeah, no, cool. So, episode 10.
Talk to me.
Episode 10. This is one that kind of came to me actually during the week, funny enough. And it was about not everyone's going to like you. Like on this journey of life and trying to achieve goals and, you know, aspirations, and not everyone's going to like you. And that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Do you know what I mean? So today I just wanted to kind of debunk that, deliberate it, break it down, chop it up, and come out with some tips, some advice like we normally do.
Let's do it.
For the people them. So, not everyone's going to like you. Thoughts, feelings?
That was something I personally struggled. That was something I personally struggled to resonate with and understand, because I'm naturally sort of like a bubbly, social person. So with that kind of personality and character trait, it bothers me when people don't like me, or I always want people to like me. I've always sort of, when I was younger and sort of secondary school, I could always, you know, I've always been in sort of like the popular, the cool kids. I've always been in the popular crowds. And obviously to get there, a lot of people have to like you, right? So I've always been like, you know, no matter what happens, I can always say people like me. You know what I mean? And again, a lot of that was sort of, you know, vanity metrics. Like, that doesn't do anything for you. And it took a lot for me to sort of understand, like, people don't actually need to like you. But I'm sure obviously we'll whittle down into that a bit more. But like, it was a very, very hard concept for me to understand, like, yeah, cool, not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. Right? But that was sort of like my sort of first interaction with this sort of concept of everyone not liking you.
With that being said, then, when did you kind of realize that not everyone liking you is really not that important? Where was the maybe turning point for you?
I think it was probably when I took on my first corporate role when I was 18 years old in my apprenticeship, and I was my first week or so. I wanted to make sure my colleagues liked me, my manager liked me, her boss liked me, and the people I wanted to work with. And as I was sort of trying to interact with people, I'd give my manager like a lot of energy, because she was like a very energetic person. And I'd speak to another guy, and he was like quite analytical, quite data driven. So when I'm like, yeah, mate, like, what's happening? I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, Freeman, let's just look, calm down. It's like, oh, okay, so I feel like he doesn't really like me too much. Or when I'm trying to like gel with some other people, some other senior project managers, and do this and do that, I'm like, he's not really gelling me. I don't think he likes me. And that mentality was sort of like stunting my growth to a degree, whereby it's like, I feel like this isn't me. Imposter syndrome started to kick in, and then obviously again, you know, thinking, oh, okay, cool, how can I do this? What can I do? And et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, why isn't no one liking me? And I felt like I was constantly having to be a chameleon and trying to shape to everyone else, and it was draining.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It was draining. Like, I'd go up, press the 10th floor elevator, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, a new face on, like
code switching.
Literally, like, Freeman, like, what did you do like this week? And I can't just say I just watched Netflix and I went trekking through the Black Mountains. I did some I don't know, some archery with my father. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I had to do random stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and that wasn't me. And like, imagine trying to do that every single day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5
that's
for the rest of it. It's draining.
So why would you say you tried to fit in? Why did you feel you just couldn't be yourself?
Like, again, I just want everyone to like me.
Why?
That's a really good question. I think I didn't see anything particularly wrong with not having everyone like you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've always been in sort of like that kind of like popular, like I know Freeman is, I want to be Freeman's friend. Like I've always kind of had that sort of growing up through like my education. So I think when I now transitioned into working, I still wanted to have that to kind of be like in the main cliques and groups and etc. And I just sort of naturally thought that if I was with the big posse, like, things will go well, right? So I sort of, to answer your question, I correlated everyone liking me to success. In short, to some form of degree, whether it be people liking me getting picked first in PE, or being on the football team, or getting these girls to have lunch with us, or whatever it may be. I just sort of correlated people liking with me to some degree of success.
Yeah. And that's probably, you're saying, correlated and stem from a young age.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see why that can happen. I remember, when you're in school and you want to be picked first. Yeah. You don't want to be the last man standing on the wall.
Of course not.
Like, you know what I mean? Like twiddling your thumbs and that while all the other players have been picked and that. So,
exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man.
What about yourself? Like, when was your kind of like first interaction with this concept of, not everyone's going to like you?
When was the first moment? I think when I started my first business.
What was that in?
So me and my friend, we used to run our own publishing company.
Okay.
Go out the magazine and stuff like that. And like along that journey, we kind of faced some adversity, like some backlash from people, and similar to you, when you're growing up, I suppose it's, again, something you're conditioned with. You feel that people liking you somehow benefits your life somewhat. And it's mad when you think about it. But that kind of journey, like, we came into an industry where, who are these guys? Like, two young guys. What do you guys know about publishing?
Yeah.
We don't like you. We don't really want you here. And it's kind of like, okay, like, not everyone welcomes you with open arms. And we definitely didn't get welcomed with open arms. And it was like a bit of a reality check, I guess, for me personally at the time. So just that moment. And then obviously, as you get older, you get mature, you get wiser, and you start to think to yourself, well, if you don't like me, then that's your business. Like, you not liking me doesn't affect my life in any shape, way, or form. But I feel you only realize that as life goes on and you get older, because your life kind of shapes itself. And then if you look at your life, it's like, that person not liking me, it doesn't affect what I've got going on over here. Yeah. So why would I care whether you like me or not? No, but obviously from a young age, everyone wants to be popular, right? Everyone wants to be the popular kid. Yeah. Everyone wants to have loads of friends. Everyone wants to be the guy. Yeah. And be seen as the guy. But again, like you said, it's vanity metrics, because
literally. That's nothing for you.
Yeah, that don't pay the bills. Yeah. You get me? So that was like one of the first.
Okay, and that's very, very interesting. Did you find a lot of that? Not everyone. Like, did you prepare yourself for that? Was that something that you prepared for, or was it something you sort of brace yourself for?
No, I definitely didn't prepare for it, because it was kind of like me realizing, that it's not important for everyone to like you. It kind of just happened to me. Like, it wasn't a thing where I saw it coming, or I just realized that, these people don't actually like me, and they've maybe pretended that they've liked me, maybe because they feel, without boosting myself, that maybe being associated with me makes them look a certain way. But really deep down, do they really like me? And looking back, because they're not here right now.
That's
they're
true.
Not here right now.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So
you're right. Do you think that if people liked you, you would have been more successful in that venture, or do you think people not liking you, the way it paved out, kind of?
No, I think ultimately the people who you really need to like you or want to like you, those are the important people. Like, do you know what I mean? But you only, like I said, you only understand that later on in life, when your life has kind of taken its shape, because you see the importance of maybe having certain people in your life and the importance of not having certain people around your life. So, yeah, kind of I've lost my train of thought now.
Only been one this time. Only one this time.
But yeah, no, just like, yeah, I think where I'm going with this is that I definitely figured out later on in life that, yeah, it really wasn't that important whether people liked me or not, or whether everybody liked me or not, because it just wasn't.
Do you think there's ever a point in time where you need to get someone to like you?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that's more...
But again, contradictorily kind of now.
Yeah, I think, yeah, when I'm saying not everyone needs to like you, I think just the general public.
Yeah.
You know, I think you want people to like you when it's beneficial to your life.
No, of course.
So if I'm, single and I meet a little sweetheart, you know what I mean? I want her to like me, innit?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's completely different to someone who I don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're out putting ourselves out on social media, right? You're going to get people who like what you're doing. You're going to get people who don't.
That's true.
And for me, the ones who don't like what we're doing, that's none of my business. Like, I don't... Whereas I think before I cared what other people thought is where I'm going with this.
Same.
So it's kind of like getting to a place where what people think of you is none of your business.
No, you're right. Yeah, we're not politicians, right?
Exactly.
You know
but
what I mean?
Going back to what you said, I think obviously in business, we have to sell. We have to get clients. We have to make clients believe in us. We have to do all of the above. And I think at that point, when it does benefit your life, you then have to, get people to like you, because it's now beneficial. But someone liking you or not liking you, if it's not beneficial, why would you care?
You're right.
Do you get what I mean? So, yeah, in answer to your question, I think there is a point where it's important for people to like you, but only when it's beneficial to your life.
Some would argue it's quite selfish.
Yeah. It is. But, no, but it is. I've said this before. Selfish is a word that 90% of the time, 90% is time. But when it comes to you, it can't be. Like, there are going to be situations where it's okay to be selfish. I'm not saying be selfish all the time, but yeah, there's gonna be times in your life where to better your life for you, you have to be selfish.
Yeah,
like you always said said in previous episodes, you've come into this life by yourself, you're gonna leave by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, no one's got your back the way you do.
More than you, 100%.
So it's so important to, be selfish.
No, 100%. Yeah, you do need to put yourself forward. No, that's very well far. So, like, in terms of like looking at some of the negatives now, like in the aspect of thinking, okay, cool, I always need people to think lightly and positively of me, think good of me, and etc. What are some of the negatives with that sort of mindset and that kind of, trait?
I think when you feel like you want everyone to like you, you become a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So you lose a bit of yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're going around pleasing everyone, then you're not really being true to yourself. You're not showing yourself the self-care and self-love we've spoken about episode 5. So, yeah, I think the negatives of trying to be a people pleaser, you're living your life for other people, not necessarily yourself. You're spending too much time worrying about what other people think of you, wanting people to like you, where you should be maybe using that time to do you and figure out life for you. Like, you're not put on this earth to please everybody.
Yeah, literally.
So, one of the biggest negatives of, like I said, being a people pleaser is you end up living life for others. Yeah. And that's one of the things that you don't want to do.
100%.
It's not good. So what about yourself? What would you say one of the negatives are? Trying to please everyone.
Yeah. I think maybe like, it might be a bit of a bad example, but like imagine if you only like sort of, chocolate ice cream, right? And then just to appease people, you eat vanilla ice cream. Like there's only so much of something you don't like you can, accumulate on, right? So you're effectively stunting your growth and you're stunting your sort of like the progression of what you can have and what you can manage. Wherever if you were to be your true self, like you said, you can go a lot further with your true self. It's natural, it's smooth, you don't need to think about it, it's effortless. Whether like myself, when I'm trying to put on this persona previously or this character of like, I was checking in the Black Mountains, I'm always having to think and to do this and it's constantly draining. It saps energies from other aspects of your life, again, ultimately stunting your growth. So I think wanting to please other people, you're ultimately being detrimental to yourself by not putting yourself forward and caring for your best interest in that regard.
Yeah. And also, I think you're not being true to yourself. Like, you are literally trying to accommodate someone else.
Can you imagine?
So if you're trying to accommodate someone else, that means you're thinking about that someone else before you're thinking about yourself. Like, deep that.
Yeah.
Like, deep that you are more concerned about what someone else thinks than you are maybe what's good for you. And I also feel as well is that when you do kind of try and please everyone, it can kind of like demoralize you and maybe allow you to lose yourself, maybe lose confidence in yourself because, like you said, you're drained, you're not being you. And how can you be confident if you're just doing what you think other people want you to do? Like, you lack confidence, you lose confidence, you lose yourself.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
part of the process you lose yourself. So, I definitely feel, the disadvantages there can just change you as a person.
No, you're right. Thinking more positively now, right? So what are some of the advantages that one could have if they don't care or they don't, bother a lot of what people think about them in terms of getting everyone to like you?
The positives now would be you just do you. Like, you're in a zone. Like, you end up kind of, when you don't care what other people think, you just live life how you see fit. So you're not worried about other people's views, other people's opinions. Like, we've all done it in the past where you care about what other people think and that could stop you from maybe doing what you want to do. You have people who maybe have gone to uni even though they really didn't want to, and now they've done something because, they didn't want to upset their parents. Yeah. But ultimately, was that what you really wanted to do? Or did you do that just because you thought that's what your parents wanted to do? And then you end up regretting it. Do you know what I mean? So you end up living someone else's life, not your own.
Yeah. That's scary.
Very scary. That's very scary. How many people have done that? Done things because they thought,
pressured.
Felt pressured, or they didn't want, to be judged a certain way, or they didn't want someone to feel a certain way about them, and they've regretted it. They've regretted it. So, I think ultimately the advantages are you just do you. You're not concerned with outside factors. Don't get me wrong, you can take advice, but to actually take it on, even though it's not something you believe in or maybe you want to do, could be detrimental, to your growth as a person.
100%.
Could be. I think I spoke about in a previous episode where when I was younger, I wanted to start up a business and my mum wanted me to go to uni, and I said I wasn't going to uni. She got really upset, and I could have in that moment thought, I don't want to make my mum upset, and her thinking this about me, and all right, let me just go and do it. I could have done that, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I probably wouldn't be sat here right now on this podcast if I did do what somebody else wanted me to do or cared too much about what someone thought. Ultimately, this is my life,
100%.
And I've got to go through life, doing what I want to do to achieve things that I want to do, not what other people want me to do or care too much, man. So what about you? What do you think the advantages are of not taking too much on board what people have to say? Because a lot of the time people don't see what you see. So their views and opinions are going to be maybe different to yours.
I think with myself, I bang on about this a lot, about being the highest version of yourself, right? And I alluded to it in some of the negatives, like in terms of stunting your growth now. And you picked up some really, really good examples in the sense where people are in relationships, marriages, situations, courses, universities, just doing things that they just don't want to do. And I can't imagine something more draining than spending years, hours, hundreds of hours doing something you simply don't want to do, and what that does to you as a person, and the spin-off effect that can have now in your life in terms of how you now treat people, how you now act, and what that looks like for your future, right? It's like you said, one of them is demoralizing things, looking at it in terms of what you can do. And if it's the only time you should ever be selfish in your life, it should be then, right? Putting yourself forwards, putting yourself first, and making sure you're picking yourself as the highest version of yourself, right? And I think that's so, so important to make sure, like I said, you can always be the highest version of yourself and always being able to put yourself forward so you can get the best out of yourself. And no one's going to back you more than you.
No, 100%, right? 100%. So going back to, I think we've kind of segued slightly, I want to more dig a little bit deeper, and I'm sure people want us to dig a little bit more deeper about what are the advantages of, you not caring whether people like you or not? Because I feel like, we spoke about this off camera, I feel like in this day and age, people are using social media as a popularity gauge.
Yeah.
So how many likes did that post get? How many shares how many comments? You know, that is a real thing now, especially for the latest generation, you know?
Yeah.
So, what would you say like the advantages are of, like I said, not really caring about what people think? Probably more so online as well.
I think before I even answer that, I think that the mindset you now need to adopt is the one of an artist, right? When you listen to a lot of artists, when they make music or they create art, they do it for themselves first as priority. And anyone else that jumps on the bandwagon off the back of that is amazing, right? So I think you need to adopt an artist mentality in the sense of you need to create this art or you need to create this plan of life for yourself as the artist of your life, right?
Like that.
Don't have any sort of audience or demographic in mind. Simply do you, right? And I feel like...
Hang on, this sounds like a step, bro. This sounds like you're getting ahead of yourself now.
Yeah, I'm jumping segments.
You're jumping segments now. It sounds like a step one.
But like in short, I feel like, let me...
save the sauce, bro.
Save the sauce.
Save
but like,
the juice, save the juice.
I definitely think one of the advantages are, do what you want for you with only you in mind.
Yeah.
Right? Remove everyone else, and I think by doing that, you can now be the highest version of yourself to be able to then achieve what you want. Because now if you're at the highest version of yourself, you can achieve now wherever you want. You set out to be, as opposed to being a 50% version of you or a 70% version or a 10% version.
And you don't care what people think.
Exactly, yeah.
Because ultimately, if you work so hard to get to where you are or you're on a mission, so you set out the destination, this is where I'm going. This is what I need to do. I've outlined all the steps of things that I need to do to get to where I want to get to. That person not like Michelle not liking me, Simon not liking me. What the hell has that got to do with what I'm on right now?
And in addition to that as well, you're a lot more fearless.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like to a degree you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you like me or not, bro. I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
So like now you're a lot more fearless. You're a lot more risk savvy as well in regards to sort of taking them leaps and taking those miles. Like all right, cool. My mum says I have to go to university, but I feel like I want to do this job and take this leap of faith. Like, I'm going to do it, right? So when you come with that mentality, you take a lot more risk. And obviously they say the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So
would you say that there are some people, though, that maybe you should care about what they think about you?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. Like, for me, I'm going to use an example of, like, relationships, right? Where the type of person I am, I just do me, innit? And some people say, oh yeah, but what if, don't you mind if so-and-so's mum thinks so-and-so about you? It's my business, bro.
Yeah.
If your mum don't like me, I don't really care, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? But some might say, no.
You need to be more considerate.
Yeah, you need to be a bit more considerate about certain people like you. What's your views on that? So, like...
Yeah, that's a very tricky topic.
Do you care what people think about you? Because let's dig from there.
Yeah, okay, cool. Honestly speaking, ultimately to a degree, yes.
Okay.
And there's different demographics of the type of people that care about me. Like, for instance, like my clients.
Yeah.
I do care if my clients do like me, because if they like me, it means that they'll spend more money with me and I make more money, right? So there's a direct correlation of whether or not they like me.
It's beneficial to you.
And it's beneficial to me, because if they don't like me, they don't spend money with me, they don't buy into me, they don't they don't buy into my services and whatnot, right? But then there's like, for instance, like, my missus and whatnot and her family, like, it's ideal that they like me, because if they like me, then we get along and I get a babysitter. You know what I mean? It's like there are some aspects of fundamental aspects of your life where certain core demographics, like whether it be family, relationship, or your clientele, will need to like you. But again, in the same breath, I still do have this thing where I've come from a perspective where like I want everyone to like me. And that's like where that's shocking up a lot of my core foundations of like, actually people don't necessarily need to like you. If they don't like you as you are, then they never probably ever liked you. You know?
That's a very good point, you know?
So that's something in the same breath I also am very cautious of, to a point where like although I want to put my best foot forward, say like, you know, for instance, like, you know, if my missus' family, like, I want to tell them, oh, I'm doing this, I'm successful, I can take care of your daughter, blah, blah, blah. But I am also a man. I am also a human being, and I am flawed. I'm not a perfect human being, right? So as much as I give you my best side, I need to be transparent and show you that I'm also flawed as well.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not
so
perfect.
There needs to be a balance, right? And I feel like at the same time, if you only show your best foot forward all the time and you're always showing like, you know, your best side.
This amazing person.
When you cock up, they're like, hold on, this wasn't in the script.
Yeah. Who is this person?
This wasn't in your CV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Poker face.
You know what I mean? I want my money back. You know what I mean?
Buying it's too late.
Trust me, you know what I mean? So like in the same breath, I'm also quite mindful of that. There needs to be a fine balance of showing who you are, but not only showing your best self, showing your 360 versions, your highs, your lows. Like even like taking it, me personally, again, with my clients, like I always say, like, you know, yes, we can do this, we can do that, but at the same time, we're also a growing company, right? So we do take on feedback, and sometimes we do cock up, and sometimes we do make mistakes, but we're more than happy to to communicate that, be transparent, and work on a plan to solve that, right? So at least from the jump, I've told you, right? Yeah, I can do this and do that, but at the same time, we do make mistakes. So be patient with me on this journey. I know that, you know, wherever it is, we're going to work on it together. So I think having a balanced outlook of what people's perspective on you is also great, as opposed to just sort of constantly showing them the best side, or specific people who only need to see your best side.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like just growing up, I've really gone from one extreme to the next, in the sense that, like I said, when I was younger, I really did care. I wanted to be popular. I wanted to have friends. No one don't want to be the loner, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I just feel like the older I've got, I just don't really care what people think about me. And some would say it's bad, and I'm not even saying it's good.
Yeah.
But I've just got to that place. I know what I want from life. And ultimately, not a lot of people will be able to help me get to where I want to get to in life. Or just, I feel are important enough.
Yeah.
Like, for what they have to say for me to really take on board.
Yeah.
I'm not saying not to hear what people have to say. That's
definitely
not what
listen.
I'm saying.
Definitely listen.
Definitely listen, but do I need to take it on board?
Yeah, you got to be mindful about that.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not, because I've got to a place in my life, I'm comfortable with my life, I know who I am, I know where I'm going. And just unless it's family, I just what you think is irrelevant.
Yeah,
it's irrelevant. Like, it's not when I've got to pay that, you know what I mean, that car payment or that rent or that bill, or are you helping?
Yeah.
Because if you're not, what you have to say is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, anyone can shout and everyone's got an opinion.
100%.
This is what I'm going with. Everyone's got an opinion, but not everyone's opinion is valid, bro.
Yeah.
So I guess it's about assessing who's giving the opinion.
Yeah.
And assessing whether that opinion is valid or stand.
It sounds like a step.
Or stand. Step 2. Step 2, sneaky one.
Yeah. As we're keen, we might as well jump straight to the step.
Straight to the step. Straight to the step. So what's your step 1?
So my first practical step in terms of not necessarily, or understanding that not everyone needs to like you, is, you know, what I first said about the mindset. I feel like you need to adopt an artist mindset, in the sense of, think about this art, this art of life that you want to create, this plan you want to create yourself, this music, this song, this masterpiece, it's only for you and no one else. I don't care if you don't like the shade. I don't care if you like the tempo. I don't care if you like the beat. This is only for me to listen and to admire and to look at. And if you like my art, then happy days, I can bring you in and we can talk and we can deliberate. If not, then this art is not for you, right? So I think that's the first perspective that I think that personally that a lot of people will need to have in regards to that mindset of this plan, this life, this art that you need to have is only for you. You know? Cool.
My step 1 is ask yourself, you know, we're talking about not caring what people think, but there are gonna be people who you should really care what they think somewhat. Yeah. So my step 1 is asking yourself, does this person have my best interests at heart? Do they love and care about me? Like, do they have me? Because if you have me, then maybe I should listen to what you have to say. But if you don't know me like that, or you ain't got my back, what you have to say just doesn't matter.
But taking that now, say like, going back to Mumsy where, you kind of wanted to do your business and then Mumsy was like, do more of the corporate 9-to-5 thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mumsy has your best interest at heart. She obviously loves and cares for you.
Yeah.
So in a situation like that, maybe for the people listening at home, how do you kind of manage that? Like my mum is telling me to go to university, but I want to become an artist, or I want to start up my own business, or my hair salon.
That would lead nicely into my step 2, because it's like, does what someone has to say align with who you want to be and where you want to go with life? Like Mumsy was like, go uni, get a degree, go and do the 9-to-5 thing. That was something I knew very early on in my life that I didn't want to do. So whilst that advice seems great, for me, it wasn't. So yeah, my step 2, leading in quite nicely, is that does what someone's saying align with where you want to go and who you want to be? Do you get me? Like, right. If you really deep it, someone's saying something, if it doesn't align with who you are, what you want, where you're going, and what you want from life, then with all due respect, thank you, but I don't really need to hear that.
Yeah.
And this is me now being selfish and doing what's right for me.
No, yeah, I'm completely with you in that regards, and I think that quite aligns closely with my step 2 in the sense of use discernment to understand the people in which and whom you're taking this advice from and this opinion from, and the advice that they're giving you, are they in a position where you want to be? Because think about it, if like, in a manual car and you're doing like 80 miles an hour, and every single time you want someone to like you, or you want to consider someone's opinion, you now have to drop a gear. And then that kind of stalls your speed, and that kind of stops your speed, and that stunts your growth and stunts where you want to be. So you, with time and obviously with a bit of experience, you will now be able to quickly discern who has your best interest in heart, and if it's even worthwhile sort of deliberating on this advice and getting them to want to like you, or getting them to have, so getting them to want to be on your best side, right? So I feel like always have an element of discernment in regards to deliberating whether or not, do I really want this person to like me? Do I even care whether or not this person likes me? And anything along them lines as well.
Cool. No, that leads into my step 3. So my step 3 would be maybe pick a group of people who you know do have your best interests at heart and, want to see you do well and et cetera, et cetera. And anyone outside of that is just noise. Do you get me? So step 3, just pick your circle of people who, are your confidants. They have your back, want to see you do well, love and care about you. And then just making a pact to yourself that anyone outside of that, what you have to say, it doesn't mean anything, because you don't really know me. And why would you care about what someone thinks if they don't really know you like that? They may know of you.
Yeah,
like,
no, of course.
How much people do know you, but
they
don't really know you, bruv. So, again, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, no, you're right. And again, even with myself, echoing sort of your step 3 as well, is, and the last of my sort of step 2 in terms of discernment is like, obviously one, understanding if this person's best interest is in line with where you want to go, and also in terms of like your mindset of being an artist, is this in line with your plan, right? Because I remember, like, sort of relating back to a more personal experience, I remember I used to, like, for those who don't know, like, I used to do like a lot of acting when I was younger. Right?
Okay, kept that quiet.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of acting. I went drama school.
Young Denzel and
that. You know what I mean? So, like, I used to do like a lot of acting when I was younger. I used to be in loads of theatres. And I remember I got an acting job with Sky, and it fell on the same day as my English GCSE exam, right? And I remember speaking to my parents and my teachers. I'm like, oh, like, Miss, Mum, like, should I miss this exam or should I not? Like, and I got the job. This wasn't like an audition. Like, I got the job. Like, it was signed for, done, everything, papers. It was literally needing to sign with my agent and whatnot. And then I was always, thinking, oh, like, will people like me if I don't have this English exam? Or if I go into college and people think, oh, this guy doesn't even have an English GCSE. So I was really sort of, and that was really my path, right? In terms of acting, like, in terms of like my passion and what I wanted to do. And I was really considering and deliberating a lot of other people other than myself, right? And I've always said to myself, whether it be my kids, my friends, or my family, like, I'm never, ever going to do that myself. Because, as you can tell, probably tell, like, I end up going with my English lit exam, got a C in the end, so probably wasn't worthwhile. And I also found out that you can also fail and do it again in college and do a repeat, which I also didn't know, believe it or not. But like, I thought like that was the last time in my life ever again that I will do something for someone else that is in direct contradiction and conflict with my personal goals.
Yeah,
right?
Personal
Because
beliefs.
it massively hurt me. And what it will even do is it will now even allow you to become oversensitive to a lot of people's genuine opinions and considerations because you were so scarred from the last one that you took. So that's why it's so important, again, with my step 2, like, you need to be able to discern whose opinions are. And I'm speaking to, you know, Miss Smith about from English about, oh, Miss, like, should I do this act? Like, what does she know about wanting to become an actor?
Yeah, really.
Outside of English.
Yeah.
You know, her best interest is to make sure I get a good grade so she gets paid and gets her bonus.
Yeah. She don't know about your dreams.
She doesn't know about my
your
dreams or aspirations. So
yeah.
you need to think about, you know, when you're taking this advice or when you're wanting to get someone to like you, like, do they even care about you? And are they living the life that you want to live? And if the answer to both of those questions are no, then forget about it. Don't care and move on. And like, yeah, hi, bye, let's go.
Yeah, let's keep
you know
it
what
moving.
I mean? Let's keep it moving. So yeah, that was, you know, that's a bit from me.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that kind of brought it back to, you know, a scenario that a lot of people could probably look back in their life and think, actually, I remember I went through a similar experience where, yeah, you really, really cared what people thought. But then you look back now and think, why the hell did I actually care what that person thought of me? Yeah. How did that help my life in any shape, way or form? So, yeah, no, thank you for sharing that, man.
No, I appreciate it, man.
It's a good look still.
No, appreciate.
So, this part of the episode is bite. What's this part of the episode? No, I'm joking. No, I'm not joking. What's
Plug bites?
Plug bites. So this part of the episode is called Plug Bites. This is where we pull out something we've read, saw, watched, inspired, motivated us that we wanted to share with the world to give you that little bit of inspiration, that little bit of motivation. And I think kind of tops off the episode quite nicely, actually, because it puts things into perspective as well. Yeah. So I'll go first.
Go on.
I'll give you a...
Give me a little second.
I'll give you a head start.
Yeah.
I'll give you a head start. So this one is something that I saw, again, in relation to today's episode. So it reads, not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. Your worth is not based on their opinion. Read that one more time.
The people in the back.
For the people in the back. Not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. Your worth is not based on their opinion. I like that. Short and sweet. And sweet. So again, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, getting to that point in your life where actually I've accepted that it's okay for not everyone to like me, and I'm at peace with it. Because you liking me doesn't affect my life in any shape, way or form. So why would I care what you think? Like, my worth, what I'm worth, what I'm about is more than your opinion could ever matter. Yeah. Like, whatever you think, you know, you got to get to a place where no matter what anyone thinks, it's irrelevant.
You're right.
Because my worth is more. I know I'm more than what you think about me. And if you knew me really, you would know what I'm about.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know?
You're right. No, I like that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Pew.
Let me see if I can top that. So my one, it reads, not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. That doesn't mean stop being your true self. Own who you are. There's literally no one in the world like you. There's only one of you, and that's your superpower.
Oof.
You know?
Okay. All right. Nice.
You know, and it's true. Like, that is, everyone has their own superpower. That there's no two versions of yourself, whether it be twins, triplets,
or quadruplets. Unless you're a twin.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be your USP, your niche, or your niche, or whatever you want to call it. Like, there's always going to be one of you. So use that to your advantage. Use that as your superpower to allow you to be bespoke, allow you to be unique, and to become your true self. Or by being your true self, you will allow to put your best foot forward and understand that we are not designed to be liked by everyone, right? There's even people who don't like water, and it's a basic necessity. You know what I mean? So if not a lot of people like water as a basic necessity, why do you think everyone's going to like you? And then, like you said, once you can kind of get that concept that not everyone's going to like you, you will cruise through life. You will cruise through life a lot more smoothly, a lot more faster, and with a lot more success.
Yeah.
Because like you said, also, you can filter out all the noise, put your noise BS headphones on, right? And just do what you need to do. You know what I mean? And anyone that's not part of your plan or doesn't have your best interest for you, then yeah, you can keep it moving.
Yeah, no, I like that. And it's funny, in you just listening to what you're saying, I read something a while ago and it was like, if everyone likes you, that means nobody really likes you. Yeah. And if no one likes you, there's going to be people who do like you.
Of course.
So everyone can't like you.
Of course.
They can't. It's impossible. Like, someone is going to find a flaw in you and not like you for whatever reason. But that's your problem. Like, if you didn't like me, that's your problem.
100%.
You know? So, yeah, I remember reading that thinking, that is so powerful, man.
Yeah, no, literally.
If everyone likes you, then no one doesn't really like you.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
And if no one likes you, then, yeah.
I forgot the last bit.
Yeah, I forgot the last bit. No, the bit...
Don't worry, we'll edit it out.
We'll edit that out. No, but it was like, yeah, if everyone likes you, then no one likes
Yeah,
you.
of course,
and if no one likes you, there's people who do like you.
Yeah.
Something along them
Something
lines.
like that. Something like that.
Leave a comment if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, cool. All right, guys. End of the show. Nice little one. Episode 10.
Bad boy episode.
10.
Double digits.
We did it.
We're here.
We made it.
We're live.
More confetti. Pew,
Pew, pew, pew, pew.
Like, share, subscribe.
Elevate people. Peace.
Elevate.